I'm gonna be earning double what I was earning at work. Fact.
So,
Fact. Absolute fact.
some people use setbacks to just feel sorry for themselves.
Nah,
Like, be like, oh, life's against me.
I was smiling.
Yeah.
I was smiling. Yeah. So initial targets, yeah. £5 million worth of property.
So why do you think only 20% of African households own their homes?
Imagine getting a phone call and being told, yeah, by the way, we need 60 grand right to my account right now.
Obviously, by the sounds of it, you want to be very wealthy, millionaire, billionaire.
Yeah.
And what are your views on taxing billionaires more and stuff? I'm gonna need you to wear a mask the whole time first. So yeah, hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of W Talk. Today's episode is with a friend of mine who we can't even track back the last time we probably met each other.
It's been too long.
It's probably been the first, well, it was the first job I had, which was in events, and we used to work kind of Wembley shifts, which was probably when we were 19, 20 years old. We're now 26, 27. So let's take it back first to when we first met each other, which was at our part-time jobs. What were you doing at that point in your life? I'm guessing you were at uni or going to uni. And what was your kind of long-term plans at that point?
I was at uni at that point, and I was studying Aerospace Engineering.
Oh, yeah, you were, I remember.
Yeah. So it was quite challenging. Had a group of friends. I think I'd say who helped me get through it. But it was like a straight master's degree, so a 4-year degree.
Which you finished? You
Which I finished. I got 2-1.
Oh, nice.
Well, not too bad, but
that's smart. I mean, aerospace ain't for idiots.
Listen, I was that close to my first class, but now I don't even care about that shit anymore. Like, whatever.
So what were the plans? So doing aerospace engineering, you're probably looking to get into. You're working for Land Rover and stuff.
Yeah. So my initial going in, I actually started on a pilot studies course. So my initial ambition was to become a pilot.
Oh, nice.
But then kind of getting into it and understanding more of the lifestyle that comes with it, I was like, nah, this I can't. It's not a lifestyle I want to live. So I kind of then diverted that. I didn't want to be an engineer. I had good technical knowledge and stuff, but I wanted to be more from a management point of view. So towards the final year of my MH degree, I decided I wanted to take on the project manager role for the final year project that we did. So I was managing a group of 12 people, 12 engineers. We delivered a project, and that's what I used to kind of get me into my Jaguar Land Rover job. I leveraged that. So literally, I got to an interview. So this isn't the normal graduate job to say, oh yeah, go get graduate job. I was like, no, I'm not in it for that paycheck. So only because, again, people that are around me. So I had the inspiration from 2 friends, Tak and I've forgotten his name now. Another guy at uni. They both got contracting jobs at Ford, and I was like, mate, they're no different from me.
Exactly.
Like, why can't I get it? So I started looking for contracting jobs, and luckily, there was a project manager role available. So I leveraged the final year project I did, went in the interview, kind of made it sound like that was my industry experience, and used that to get the job. And the manager that interviewed me kind of took a chance, and he's like, you know, young kid, ambitious kid, let's see what you can do. Bring him in, yeah.
So when that's at
shout out to Ian Wallace. I don't really never see this, but yeah.
So you left uni, you joined Land Rover, and then were you there the whole time up until COVID?
Yeah. So I've been
3 years.
Almost 5 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a while.
So you're dedicated to them for.
Yeah, it was a great company. Mate. Pay was good. Can't complain.
Drove nice cars.
Great.
I always saw your stat every time. I was like, this guy's switching cars every week.
So I got to experience those cars as well. And like now, it's very hard to like. I don't appreciate there's certain things I need to have in a car. Do you know what I mean? Like crucial things. And when you experience something like better things in life,
it's just hard to go back.
Yeah.
I got to go to New York in first class.
Like that. That I've said to myself, Alfred, whatever you do, the first time you take first class,
make sure.
I can sustain it because I know the minute I experience that, I can't go back.
You can't, man, because I think I've done an economy. I done a bloody economy flight to Thailand, and Thailand's like 13 hours. So economy and that, you feel it.
Yeah.
It feels like a bus. And like, no offense to people that do economy, but it's just like it's hard, man. Like, oh mate, it's way different, man. So
different.
Yeah, once you taste a bit of a good life, as you're saying, at least you want to do it. So when you do it, you're not doing first class and then the next week you're doing economy.
Exactly.
You're eating out of a takeaway meal. So it's just like, you got to keep that consistent. So you obviously being at Land Rover 5 years. Yeah. Obviously, as you were there every year gone by, I'm pretty sure you're probably thinking long term. You probably saw yourself at this company for long, or what was your long term?
No, actually, funny enough, this is everything kind of changed. So like year one into this is how early year one. So after a full year of working at Jaguar Land Rover, earning good money, I was living my life, going on holidays. I go like 4 holidays a year.
Wow.
So I was just
enjoying.
just enjoying.
And enjoying work.
Yeah, enjoying work was great. Nothing bad about work or anything like that. It's just I just saw, because I was looking forward. I was like, okay, cool. This is year one. This is pretty much what it's going to be like, and it's only going to get more intense or whatever. I'm going to go up the ladders, whatever it is. Do I really want to do this? How much money? This was the first time I actually sat down to search what's the highest I could earn.
What got you to think like that?
I've always had this thing of I want to be rich young. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
Can I do this at this job?
Yeah, can I do this at this job kind of thing? And like, okay, what does it mean to earn, I don't know, 6 figures, a million a year? How would I go about doing it? So this is the first time I actually sat down to sit, okay, what can I earn through this job? I mean, project manager, even a senior project manager, I think you'd need to at least have 10 years. Like usually, but don't get me wrong, you can do it quicker. But 10 years to only earn over maybe 100 grand, 110.
10 years experience.
Yeah, it's like, mate, I should be able to make a lot more in 10 years. Yeah. Kind of had a friendship group back at uni we're still in contact today, and we kind of catch up all the time. So I said, let me just give them a call, see how they fare with work and what their thoughts. And everyone had the same feeling, come on, work. Yeah, money's good, don't get me wrong. It's a good start, but there's surely more to life than doing this. We've always had big ambitions of doing bigger things, and wanted to do more quite young. And work, wasn't it. And at uni, I used to talk about property as like a retirement vehicle. So that's how I kind of then.
So you always had a bit of property in the back of your mind.
Yeah, that was something I just always thought it was. I'll just, as I work, I'll make some money and then buy some properties and have a portfolio of properties, and then that kind of be my retirement money.
Is it like a family thing? Do you have any family or close friends in property which always planted that seed back then, or you just always known that I'm gonna make a bit of money and then just get on the property ladder eventually?
Yeah, there wasn't even family or anything. It was more just, I guess, maybe the information I was listening to at the time, and kind of me knowing that wealthy people had property around them. So I just thought, I didn't really do any research to it. I just it was just more of a want. What does it mean to invest in property? All that stuff. So the first book I think I read, so after this conversation with my friends, I think my friend Tabo was the one that recommended reading Rich Dad Poor Dad book.
Oh yeah.
So for me, that was the trigger point for me.
That was the first ever book.
Yeah, first ever. Yeah, because I don't really read. I still don't really read. I'm more listening to audibles than physically read a book. And that was a trigger. I then from there on got quite heavily into it. He then found, or his missus found us a seminar, like a franchise of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then so we went to it. And then from there, that's pretty much.
Is he in property as well, that guy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think a lot of people. This is why I was looking forward to speaking to you, because personally speaking, I'm not on the property ladder. I speak to a lot of people that it's everyone's dream, or not even dream, but it's a standard thing. It's the standard thing that I want to get on the property ladder.
Yeah.
Everyone. I spoke to some other person a few days ago that I'm trying to get on the property ladder. Everyone tries to do it. So how did you get onto it?
Before I get into how I got into it, I just want to kind of there's this obviously everyone's talking about getting a property ladder. I obviously I've done it, but looking back, I guess it depends. Everyone's got a step in life. It depends where you want to go and who you are as a person, what you want to achieve. I do think if you're someone that's business driven, you're an entrepreneur trying to build something for yourself, I personally would say stick to the renting stuff. The reason I say that, if you do the simple maths don't lie. So if you was a renter and you was renting a property, your outgoings, even if it's a grand a month, just on outgoings, to cover your bills, to cover whatever your accommodation, even £1,000. So that's 12 grand a year. To buy a house, a decent house, you probably got to put a good 30, I don't know.
And that's on the location as well.
Yeah, depending on locations or depending where you are in the country. So let's say on average, you have to put 30 grand down on deposit. That's 30 grand down just to get the house, get the keys. Then you've got the fees, to legal fees, let's say another 5 grand, all that closes off. So 35 grand you're in. Then you've got to furnish the house. So if you're someone like me who's got a taste,
nice, I've seen your TV on the wall, nice.
So it's you're gonna probably spend another 15 grand to 10 to 15, 20, even depending on how much you want to spend, just to furnish the house. And then you start paying your mortgage each. What we saying? Let's round it up. So we're in 50 grand all in, just to get
on here.
Yeah, get the keys to the house. Then you got to start paying £1 grand each month. year one, you paid 62 grand. Yeah. If you had a business idea that you wanted to like push forward and believe in yourself, again, it comes on self-belief.
Put that money in that instead.
You can put that money into that instead. That 62 grand will bring you a lot more money, or I'm assuming that you know what you're doing. So this is assuming that you know what you're doing, you know how to make money and grow your wealth. You could make more money with that 62 grand than putting into that house. Versus 12 grand you'd have to spend on your rent. Anyway, so you've got 50 grand to play with basically if you didn't do that, if you didn't own a house. So I did that. So basically my story was, so I guess I'll take it into how I got started in property. So like I said, my friend took us on this course. The first initial course was like $1,000 to go to the course. It was like a 3-day course. Yeah, 3-day course. Then it had this like advanced package, which was like 24 grand.
Oh, the hell.
Yeah.
So from $1,000 to 24 grand.
So it was just, there were different levels of package that you can choose. The 1,001, obviously they talked about different levels. I don't know, it was maybe like 20 and then it just went up from there basically. But the one I picked, it was like 4 courses, so 4 different topics in property, 3-day mentorship, and there's like over a 2-year period. So for me, I was actually in the position of buying a house, and I said, you know what, I can go buy this house.
You had the money to buy the house.
Yeah. So I had the money to buy the house. I was like, I can go buy the house, or I can invest in this course. I was investing in myself to gain more knowledge, similar to what I did when I did my uni degree. I invested 25 grand to get a degree, which then got me my job. So I was like, okay, let's take the chance again. Let's put this money into this educational course. I'm going to learn, because again, for me, it's all about self-belief. If you don't believe in yourself, there's no point
ever starting.
Yeah, you're just going to waste the money making that decision and saying, you know what, I can risk that money. I'm young. I think at the time I was 22, 23. So it's like, what have I got to lose? I've got plenty of years ahead of me. I could spend 25 grand. I can tell you how I'm going to spend 25 grand. So I was like, yeah, so let me get into that. So everyone's looking at me crazy, like, Alfred, what the fuck would you pay someone?
Did you still have a girlfriend back then as well?
Yeah, so I paid. There was no money coming from her. I said, because for me, it was very important for her to understand what it is I was getting involved in, and I wanted her to
understand and believe the vision.
Exactly. So for me, it wasn't about, oh, let's chip in, let's play it halfway. No. I paid for the whole thing, and again, people look at me crazy for that. I'm like, listen, I'm living for her. I want her. I want to keep it. I need her to be on the same wavelength as me. Yeah. So I know what I'm doing. That's what I want to do. That's my decision. So I did that, and yeah, it's been a long journey in terms of when I initially started. So I think back in 2017, I'd say I started taking property seriously, and literally, even within the first year, the information I'd learned from that course that I did, there's something called creative financing, and it's a principle about borrowing money cheaply and using that money to then make more money. So that's what I did. So I've got friends that are like in the event industry in the terms of, so like raves that you normally go to where you bring artists down to perform at university. So I was based in the Midlands, so got in contact with a few people who were in the events who were quite well known and had a track record. And I said, what can we do? What do you need to kind of run your business? And I said, capital is what you need. So again, I was lucky again in the sense I know people around me that had money. So it's like, okay, they would say, Alfred, we need 20 grand to get this artist down to come perform at Coventry University.
And you would help invest into that?
So I would borrow the money cheaply from a friend, work colleague, whatever. And then I would put it into, so I'm not involved in the event, I'm just funding.
You're just helping fund it, exactly, yeah.
So I'm just helping fund the event. And I made that money, I made that 25 grand back within that year. I bought my house the year after.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so for me, like that money paid back already, like, and I hadn't even bought a single property yet. And this is the crazy thing. So for me, is the information was still, you can apply that to business. So the information I learned, you can apply that to just being someone who's creative with money, basically. And the whole borrowing money cheaply, for me, that's massive, and it still is massive for me now. Because if you can get money for cheap, you can multiply that money and still pay back your investors their returns and the initial capital that you borrowed off them. And then from there on, I got a bit, I wouldn't say greedy, but because it was a good lump sums of money. So don't get me wrong, the event industry was great. For 2 years straight, we're making a killing.
Was it all by yourself you were doing, or you were working with them?
No, so I was still working. So I wasn't involved in the actual event.
You just put the money in.
They just tell me what they need. I'll send the money to them. We'll have a contract in place that stipulates what the agreement is, who's getting what. And yeah, 2 years, I kind of got our property in a sense. I wasn't really taking the right action to progress, build up a property portfolio. It was more, oh, I like this, let me keep making this money. But what I quickly realized was, well, if I don't do these events, or the events don't physically happen, then we don't make any money. So now it's like, how can I get to a point where I'm making income as opposed to lump sums of money? Lump sums of money are great, but
you want to diversify yourself a little bit, yeah?
I wouldn't even say diversify, it's more sustainability, because, for example, like COVID now has happened and events aren't happening.
So if you carried on doing that,
if I carried on, I would have had nothing around me, and that would have been it. I would have lump sums of money, but again, I'm spending the money, I'm using money for other things. So, do you know what I mean? So for me, it was now focused on income. What can I know what I could buy, which is property, and that could bring me income. And that's what I wanted. For me now, all I'm interested in is income. Even property-wise, you won't see me doing like a flip. What people say is flip is you buy a house, renovate it, and you sell it for more.
You don't do that?
Yeah, for me, I want rental income.
So have you done that before though?
No, never. Never will. Because for me, I'd rather just go to events. It's quick.
So what do you do in the housing game now? I mean, we'll dive into that more. So like,
yeah,
what is your approach in housing? So you don't buy a house and flip it.
No, for me,
buy it to just rent it out.
Yeah, so I buy it. So I want to buy stuff that need work to it. For me, when I'm looking at property to buy, I'm looking for a property that has space. So I'm more concerned on the floor space of the property. Can I chop and change it? Because it doesn't matter how it looks today. I'm going to reinvent the rooms of the house. Either go down, up, side, whatever, on the rear, to create a maximum
space. So floor space is more important to you than the
exactly. So for me, I'm trying to get as many. Not I was as many rooms, but I'm trying to create. I'm creating spacious rooms. Again, depending on what products you put out there, I'm in the game to put out great products where they can go off the market quickly when people see it. So I'm not in it to kind of create these box rooms because I can fit. Do you know what I mean? You can fit more rooms on properties, but it's like, what do you gain by doing that? You potentially can have voids and issues later on. And I'm all about sustainability. Put out a product that can sustain the market for as long as possible. Back to the income stuff, it was just purely income, and I only focus on income. I'm not interested in anything else, like flips. It's good money. Don't get me wrong. There's some.
But this is just your avenue. This is what you.
Yeah, for now, anyways.
I'm sure you have friends in the property game that do flip.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it depends where you are as well in the journey. I feel like for me now, because obviously I was working. So for me, I wanted to get out of work, not because I hated it, because I knew I could do more of my time and the more opportunity found outside of work.
Regardless of how much work you can put into a job, there's only so high up you can go. I feel like whereas when you're working for yourself, the limits are way higher. You can put in a lot of work and then get way more money. In fact,
I would say the returns are greater working for yourself. Again, it all comes to your self belief, your self motivation, because this stuff isn't easy. Like
taking risks.
Yeah, because it's bigger risks that you got to take as well to kind of get better returns, I guess. And for me, I felt like being at work kind of limited me in that sense. I feel like, because I always said to people like, okay, I don't care how motivated you are, but if you're starting your day and you're constant, like, so when I'm at work, for me, I'm coasting. I'm not developing. I'm just coasting. Like, this is how I felt at work. I wasn't using any brain cells. I was just coasting. So for me to then, okay, I've done my 9 to 5 and I want to get back to work and now I want to up my energy levels and push myself even more. It's like, well, I spent 60% of the day coasting
already,
and now I want to try and jump it up. It's just a bit like, you've got to have the push has got to be really there for that to really happen. Don't get me wrong, but Jaguar Land Rover is a great company to work for. I can't fault it. It's the only company I ever knew, to be honest. But
this is the only job you had after uni?
Yeah, but speaking to people that have kind of been around the automotive industry and been to other companies, they're like, yeah,
that's probably one of
the best ones they've worked for. Yeah.
So for someone that might want to have a good steady job, then yeah, you would recommend that. But for someone, for your personality, you said you've always wanted more.
Yeah.
So you've got nothing wrong with working at Jaguar Land Rover, the money you make, the kind of job it is, but you personally speaking, it just wasn't.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like nobody's saying like don't work for someone. You can, you gotta be smart with it. So you gotta have the long term plan in your head. Okay, if I want to work here 2 years, 3 years, make the capital I need to be able to start what I need to do. Because if you're unfortunate in the sense you can't get money around you to be able to start what you want, or find someone to believe in you to kind of give you the money to get that head start, then unfortunately you do it the hard way, which is either you can create a product which you put on the market and people buy and then for raise money, or you can work, save some of the money and start what you need to do. There's nothing wrong with working. I always see people like, oh yeah, quit your job. No.
Only quit your job if you've got something else. Like, don't just quit it just to go lay at home and like.
Yeah, exactly. So there's just the balance. Balance. It depends who you are and who you are as a person, and just where you are in your life.
Do you feel like you've always been smart with your money? Like, obviously there'll be times when you're younger. I mean, back when we knew each other, I think by rounds, bare drinks.
Yeah, no.
All that like. So yeah, have you always like, or were you just always saving money? Just the standard kind of teenage young person?
I wouldn't say I was a good. I was good. I had average money management. I'd say. I was able to save because I saved money, so it wasn't that bad. I wasn't really a big spender. I'm not really one into like labels and like buying stuff. Like even now, like I don't really like most label stuff that I have been gifted. I'm not one. Like I want the high end good label stuff. I'm not interested in Gucci and LVs and nonsense that are out there. I want the Richard Mille and stuff like that. So for me that's what I want to get to, and for me there's a way of going about to get to that level where you're able to acquire this kind of asset. So I don't want to buy something which depreciates. So these labels that are just people just buying and spending money on.
Whereas a Richard Mille, that holds its value.
Yeah, that holds its value. So I want to buy stuff that are worth
assets,
200-300 grand or whatever, but they hold value, they potentially even increase over time. Those are the type of label products I want to buy, and not this average stuff.
So you were saving back when you were younger, but were you saving with an aim, or you were just saving? It's just good to just save.
When I read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, that obviously talked a bit about money management and who you need to be in. There's obviously quadrant stuff, employee, self-employed, investor, business owner, and obviously he's talking about being on the right hand side of the quadrant. So for me, that's where I wanted to kind of get into, and the whole getting wiser and getting better management. That was like that book kind of drove that. So I read the next book. The next book was Napoleon Hill. That was more personal development. But then I read about money. So Money by Rob Moore. That took you back to the fundamentals of how money was made, what money is, how does it work, how do you attract money, how do you make money, how do you multiply.
What's this book called?
Money by Rob Moore. Yeah, no, it's a great book. So if you don't know anything about money or financial education, to put it simple, that book has a very in-depth detail. Takes you back to how money was started and all that stuff, and brings you back to today's world and how you can make money, how you can get great business and scale up. So it's a great guy to follow in general. He's one of my, I call him virtual mentor.
Yeah, so I was gonna actually get onto the mental topic after as well. Do you have a mentor? I do. I've always had. So again, this mental stuff only came about through the property education and me seeing the need to have a mentor around you. Or no, I wouldn't say a need in the sense, if you want to move to different levels and move quicker, you need someone that's been there.
You need someone who's been there to imitate, to follow their steps. And who better than your
but still mentor. Have your own approach to it, but you're just taking kind of
exactly. You're getting guidance. So a mentor isn't gonna like hold your hands and make sure you do something, make sure you're out of bed and no.
All that
a mentor is just there to kind of share ideas with that person. The person will steer you what to do next. Obviously, it's then on you to take the action to go and actually deliver what it is you want.
And how did you come across this guy? Was it through just a course?
I've had multiple mentors actually. So I had Mark. Shout out to Mark Dalton again. I don't know if you can see this, but yeah. So he was key in the sense of on blocking. I had some mindset issues in the sense, like I was doubting myself. I had the property stuff wasn't like I wasn't finding the deals. I wasn't finding investors, and he just kind of said things in a different way to kind of unblock all these issues, these thoughts I had, and got me thinking more positively. And yeah, I got my first deal. I'll say that because of him.
Nice.
Because yeah, he definitely helped unblock some of these things. That's what a mentor can do. Like, you can see what you're trying to do and where overcome the hurdle. And also I've worked with Liam Ryan again as well. I'm more using more for like the personal branding stuff, business coaching stuff, as opposed to property. Whereas Mark Dalton was specifically for property.
All kind of entrepreneurs or millionaires have always had mentors, and he hasn't got a mentor. We made a joke as well, like, where's the mentors? I want a mentor. So I feel like they do just come across. It depends what kind of avenue you are in life, and if you do put yourself into that circle of people, I'm sure you will eventually come across.
And it could be as simple. They don't have to be labeled as a mentor. Everyone thinks mentors are they put themselves out as mentors. No. So, for example, if you admire someone, you've seen someone out there in your field that you like what they're doing, you like the direction they're at, or where they've got to in life, just message them. LinkedIn, I don't know, wherever they are, what platform they're using, just try and get hold of them. Don't get me wrong, it's easier said than done, but persistence can get you results as well. So usually you would pay for mentorship. I personally haven't had a free mentor yet.
But it's been worth it, the ones you
paid for. 100% worth it. And this is why I said a virtual mentor. So I said Rob Moore is my virtual mentor in a sense. I love the content he delivers. I love his books. So you can still learn principles, learn certain ideas, get some ideologies through his podcast, his books, the stuff that he puts out just by watching him from a distance. If you're fortunate enough to pay for his mentorship, which I think is like 50 or 60 grand a year, I think that's cheap. That's higher. So I think Grant Cardone is 50k for an hour. yeah. So that's another guy I really look up to, again, because of his big goals. Always wanting to level up. So
50 grand an hour.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably you're getting what you paid for. I'm sure the knowledge he's giving you will make you 10 times that amount. So
100%. And that's what you got to look at it. You're not paying him money. You're investing money yourself to gain more knowledge so you can level up. That's what you're paying for. I think it's not about the price. It's the value you're getting or something. Okay, don't look at the price. It's the value. Something along those lines. By basically saying stop worrying about the price. The price is the number.
Out of this,
it's the value you're getting out of it is what's the important bit.
So you got into your first property.
Yeah.
And then you rented that out. And how many have you done? How many projects have you done since then?
So this one, I don't know if you've seen the videos I've been putting out. So
I've seen one of you going into a house, an empty house, and not Coventry, but it seemed like it was outside London, and you're just going around them, and you actually renovated a little bit.
So this is a 6-bed. So it was initially, I think it's a 4-bed or 5-bed. It's like an old property, an old rental property that a landlord was looking to exit. He didn't want to update the property to meet the new regs that were coming in. So I bought that property off him, and then I renovated it. So for me, I creatively added space to the property by extending the rear of the property to increase the kitchen and lounge area, and then also created an additional room in the loft space. It's a 6-bed, 7-occupant property. The loft room can have 2 people. All the other rooms are individual people. So that's coming to an end, and I think we'll plan to shoot it on the 25th. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Assuming that things go to plan, and we get there. So then I'll obviously share that on YouTube and show people what that's about. So that's one project, and then I've got 2 more. These are going to be 8 beds. Again, I only invest in Coventry, by the way, guys. So CV1, City Centre for me is
the only place you.
Yeah, I don't look anywhere else, because I always say, like, the growth is always in the city. Yes, you can probably move a bit further out for whatever reason, and probably potentially more growth out there. But for me, again, I always think about sustainability. People want to live in the city centre because it's a city centre. They're closest train station they can travel. All the stuff, shopping, everything is in the city centre generally. So you want to be in the city centre location because that's the best place to be in most cities. So for me, it's like you can't really go wrong because all properties I'm buying are within a mile from the station.
And you don't have any plans on? Well, maybe you do. I mean, it's a long-term vision, but having property in London, you probably will eventually.
No, I do. So obviously, I was up in the Midlands mainly because of work and stuff, but I do intend to come. I don't think I want to live in London because it's small. Not small. It's crowded.
Okay, yeah.
And I feel like the properties you get in London are just generally just crowded, and parking is an issue and all that stuff. So I do want to have a spacious property. So I want to have access to London. I don't necessarily need to live in London. And I could do deals in London. Obviously, it's more capital intensive. But I honestly believe there's more opportunity outside of London than there is in London. London, everyone's done it, killed the space.
Yeah.
People that are doing these apartments and stuff, great. But like I said, it's capital intensive. You can do bigger schemes outside of London for half the money you're doing it.
I feel like a flat like this to buy is probably like 400 grand,
yeah.
450 grand. I mean, that's ridiculous money. Imagine up north you can get like a mansion in Manchester or something.
Exactly for that money. So for me, I'm all for the space because I live in a 3-bed house, detached house, and I don't even like the space. There is no space. So I've got the office. So we've got the main room, and then the one of the rooms, the smallest room we use from office. My missus is using the other room for her stuff. Like
you live with your missus,
yeah. So she uses that room for her stuff, and the rooms are done basically. So there's no space. Once you've got the living room and stuff, but that's it. So like the next house has to be bigger. We need more space. You have kids and stuff. Definitely need more space. So again, another reason why you need to make more money, because for me, I always believe life is always getting more expensive as you grow older, because everyone around you is getting older. So your parents, your family, you're gonna I don't know, from where I'm from, like the younger generation will look after the older generation. So I know in a few years it's gonna be my responsibility to pretty much send a paycheck to my mum and dad, guaranteed every month. And I can't do that if I'm working from a 9 to 5, or I could if I was earning enough money, but in the field I was, it wasn't gonna work out. So I needed to kind of find another avenue, and I'm always an advocate for increase your income each year. But you're actually losing money each year, so if you're not actually increasing your income by each year, you're actually earning less. Yes. You don't see it because pound is still a pound, if you do you know what I mean? But in reality, pound is actually worth less each year because of inflation. So you got to at least look to increase your income. I think inflation is 2%, but if you look to increase your income by 2% at least, which is not a lot of money, but look to try and increase it. And also, it doesn't always mean, everyone thinks like, oh, you got to increase your income in work. No. So I had my work income, I had my events income that I was doing. So I had I won't say more, I can call it multiple income streams, but I looked outside of work because I knew work. If I spoke to a manager about increasing my income, I did it once. I think I got a pay rise about twice
in 5 years.
Yeah, in the 5 years I was there. But I look to get income outside of work because I know it's a tougher conversation, especially being a contractor, earning good salaries as it is. They're like, you're looked upon as being greedy because you earn money, you earn a lot of money as it stands compared to like an employed person. So whenever you come and ask for money, they're like, oh, look at this guy, he's been here for 10 years and he's not earning nowhere near you, and you're
why are you asking for more?
Yeah, exactly. So I always looked,
and especially coming from ethnic minorities, it's always harder for us to ask for a pay rise. That's just the reality of it. I've seen it. It's first hand. It's just the reality of it. Like,
mate, I remember
a brown man or a black man asking for more. It's like, who the cheek of it? Like, who are you? Like that's just the reality of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
true,
especially in your industry as well. Like, I mean, you've given obviously advice and you've discussed them, like what things to do. Obviously, increasing your income every year, increasing value, reaching out to people, spending your time with the right people around you.
Yeah.
What have been some of your biggest setbacks? You've definitely had some sort of L's. You've definitely had some sort of.
Oh, it's a good one. I've never actually. This was massive. So at uni, I'm not probably not saying name. Obviously, keep the names out. But I had a friend. This is probably give a clue as well. I had a friend that had a rental business, a car rental business, doing great. He was making money. He came up to me and said, "Oh, Alfred, I need your help. Like, I'm looking to obviously scale up. I need more cars in my fleet." So we applied for a car, and there was this trick that he then kind of informed me on. So when you're getting finance, don't do this, guys. By the way, don't do this. This is a trick, but don't do this. It's not something to be doing. Information is powerful, but yeah, just obviously if you use it. If you get a car finance today, you could tomorrow. Not even tomorrow, or you can get two car finance with two different companies, two different branches on the same day. Car finance with it on my name, and this is me at uni. Like towards the final year of my uni. So like obviously he said, yeah, I'll cover the monthly payment. I'd seen him make good money, but he was making a killing.
So yeah, you didn't really.
So I trusted him. Obviously, been good friends since like secondary school. I've known him since I was in year 7. So like, there's been no issues. Like, so I trusted. We're still friends today. Like I trusted him, and obviously like. The problem with the car rental business is insurance. So imagine you've got a fleet of 20 cars. You have one accident, let's say, okay, cool, we'll increase your insurance premium by X amount for the fleet. Then you start having multiple crashes or reports and cars, police taking your cars and or whatever, for whatever reason. So I guess maybe it's the people he was renting the cars out to as well. That maybe could have made things or accelerated things. So he now got to a point where the company was under so much stress in a sense. There were so many accidents happening, cars were getting written off, some cars were being paid out by the insurance company, but guess what? The insurance is, yeah, we'll pay out the cars, but now your premium is 100 grand, for example. And there was one day where he had a phone call from the insurance company asking for 60 grand on that day, or the fleet, basically his entire fleet that was out. It was uninsured, we would have been uninsured. Imagine getting a phone call and being told, yeah, by the way, we need 60 grand right to our account right now, or we're not going to insure you.
Your whole thing just
collapsed. Your whole thing's going to be void. So his business just overnight, because he couldn't raise money quick enough, and he has cars that were out there who potentially were driving around with no insurance. So yeah, and so now I obviously struggle with the payments, and this is me like I haven't got a job at this time. I'm just about finishing my exams. So this is about 20 grand on my name, and I'm thinking, fuck, this is like this
is a lot.
This is a lot, and also the whole incentive as well was like, my head was, well, he can help me build my credit score. Because as long term, I obviously want to get on the property ladder. So I was helping. So I was helping here because before that I had nothing on credit. So this is going to help me build my credit, get my credit score where it needs to be, to buy in the future. So I was like, why not? This is a win-win for both of us. And yeah, it started going left. Now getting late payments. Got the finance. I think Santander, Black Horse, calling me about payments, and I think flipping out. Like, what am I going to do? And then luckily as well, so I think I had 3 months of late payments on both the cars, so that damaged my credit card quite a bit, and it just hindered things as well in terms of buying a property. Because I remember I was trying to buy, and it was like, oh, only a few lenders will consider you because within the last 2 years you've had late payments and blah blah blah. But luckily, obviously, being work my job, mate, I was one point in time where I could save 2.5 grand easy a month. So I quickly got rid of that because I just hated the fact that those cars were on my name. Yeah. I don't drive these cars. I don't even know where the cars are.
Why is it affecting me? Like,
why is it affecting me? I just closed my eyes and started paying this stuff off and just paid it off. Got it off my name and just got rid of it.
So once you finally paid off, how long did it take to come off your name? Because usually sometimes
it takes 6 years. 6 years.
So it's completely off your name now?
Yeah, I think so. It's weird. But now it don't matter. I bought more property, so it don't matter.
But looking back on it, you feel like that's one little setback that affected you.
But that was a good. I'm happy it happened then because I was gullible then, one, and two, it just kind of brought stuff out of me that probably wouldn't have if that didn't happen. So I always say the setback. Don't look at it as a setback. Don't look at it as like a bad thing. It's growth. You need to have things that get you to look outside the box or think differently or become a better person, be evolved, those kind of things. So I always look for that stuff. I actually look to try and not to fail. No one likes failing.
But to have lessons.
Yeah, to have lessons, exactly. And learn from those lessons so you don't repeat them in the future. Because this is only 20 grand. I don't value, so 20 grand is like nothing now. I don't care. Like, previously, 20 grand was a lot of money to me, but now I don't care about 20 grand. 20 grand. Having that experience on the level of 20 grand, I'm very happy. Having that level of experience, having that exact same happening with, say, 200 or £2 million pounds. That would be, do you know what I mean? It's a lesson to learn.
So you're happy that happened at that age?
Yeah, and at that point in my life, exactly.
People that do push for a lot and push for greatness and want to become very rich, you have to take a lot of risks.
Yeah.
You have to be selfish to a point where you're only...
100%. My girlfriend gets specifics all the time.
So you know where I'm going with this question now. So it's like you've been in a long-term relationship for a while now, and like, once again, I'm sure your woman believes in you, same way my girlfriend believes in my dreams as well, and they always will. Like, your family will as well, but then it gets to a point where they're not going to believe on the same way you do. I mean, how have you been able to kind of have your dreams and balance a healthy relationship over the last few years of important years of your life? Like 20s are probably some of the most important years.
So I think, one, you have to have her on board the idea that you're trying to implement. Whatever it is you're doing, she needs to be like 100% with it.
Communicate.
So communication is massive, very much. Like, you've got to be able to talk to her about what it is you're doing, one. Because when she's clueless about what it is you're doing, it just like
you don't get the support.
The wavelengths and everything clashes. Like, it's just you're not getting the support. She doesn't understand what you're doing. So when you're doing certain things that you understand what you're doing, she doesn't even come across, or she doesn't think of it in the same way you are. So communication is very important to be able to have a good relationship. Because another thing is, if she's getting on your nerves or moaning about nonsense, and you're also trying to like join me, because that's what it is, because you're going to feel that way. Then obviously that stops you as well. Because again, if your mindset isn't where it needs to be, and this is why I bang on personal development, because things like this can affect your performance and stop you moving forward. You might feel like, I need to kind of give my attention to her, so I'm gonna park my dreams or park my visions to the side and keep her happy. And that's where the selfish thing comes in, because like, in a way, for you to get to where you need to be, unfortunately, you do have to be selfish. So there are certain times where I'm not going to care how she feels, which is a bad thing to say, but it's either that or I don't move forward. So obviously I'll try and make amends and make things better or whatever.
But as you said, as long as you're communicating, you can tell her, look, I do care about you because the long-term vision does include you, but there will be times on the journey where, look, you have to put this to the side.
Exactly. Things have to wait and stuff, and just, I think in any relationship, it comes down to communication. If you two can understand each other, see where you're coming from, see the vision, it's just a much easier ride than if you two are completely different and they're not on the same wavelength. It just makes the journey even harder and potentially just toxic even.
In fact, it'll probably benefit you sometimes as well, because if you have a woman that's kind of supportive as well, it will probably drive you even more.
Yeah, because she might give you ideas or different perspective. Because again, obviously you've got your own vision. You're in it. You're just 100 miles at it. She's from an outside point of view and can see what it is you're doing, and she can tell you, oh, Alfred, you're this or you're that, or you're doing this differently, or you become someone differently, or you're moving a bit different now. Just tweak it a little bit, or do this and do that. So it does have its benefits of having them on board.
But like, even doing this podcast, and my girlfriend's giving me tips, and she's been very supportive of it. Like, I've got communication issues sometimes. I'll have a vision in my head.
Yeah.
I know how I want things, but I won't communicate to that. And if I don't tell her, how do I expect her to understand where I'm coming from? Some people don't even understand what the podcast is, and when they say it to me, I get offended. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean don't understand what I mean? This is like, to me, it's like, what, this is all in my head, but I don't think with delivery and execution, I haven't delivered it yet. Obviously, I'm still learning, I've only got a few episodes in. But like, people even ask, like, what does W talk even mean? I feel like in life, you can't progress without facing some sort of losses and L's, as that's why I even asked you about setbacks. And I feel like having L's, they make W's.
Yeah.
And one day I sat in the office, I have to use my hands, and if you get the letter L and you put them together, it makes a W. So I was let me get guests on board, entrepreneurs, people that are doing something different in life, and understand their struggles and the L's they've had to face to make their ultimate W. Because everyone wants to be rich. Everyone when they're younger, they're like, oh yeah, I want to be a millionaire.
It's the thing, people have this perception as well, like, oh, why do you want to be rich? Why do you want so much? You've got, like, everyone's like, oh, Alfred, you got a great job, you're earning good money, like, what more do you want?
Why do you want more, yeah?
I'm like, mate, okay, don't get me wrong, yes, I'm fortunate, I'm not valuing where I am in life. I just want more. Why would you not want to be able to give your family what they need, whenever they need it? You be able to drop what you're doing to be able to go and see your family, just live a good life, like
on your terms.
On your terms. Why would you not want that? Don't get me wrong. I don't know. I could sit in a house and have a nice house and say I'm done for the rest of my life, but that's not me.
And you're ready to take that risk because, as you were saying, you're earning good money at that job. So why does someone need to take that risk of earning X, Y, and Z to want more? So it's about risk. Everyone wants to take different risks. And as you said, you've got that hunger in your belly and fire in your belly where, like, you know what, I'm ready to risk this comfortable salary. Or not even comfortable, a bit above a comfortable by the sounds of it. Like, you're earning a good amount. So, yeah, people are looking at, like, Alfred, are you mad? Why would you want to risk this all to go earn even more? Like, I mean, yeah.
But it's like, well, earning more.
You just said it yourself. Like, you got to take risks, man. Like, growing up, even myself, when I was younger, I always said, when I grow up, I want to be a millionaire. I mean, everyone does. Most people, I want a Lambo, but I don't think people realise the work that
it's required to.
It is a lot of work and the risks you have to take for it. Like, it doesn't come easy, and obviously everyone knows, it doesn't come easy. But everyone says it's not easy, but no one wants to do it.
Yeah, and I think more importantly, just don't. The word risk. Everything in life is a risk. Even existing is a risk. Because it's true. Because if you decided to stop feeding yourself tomorrow, guess what? You're gonna die. You're not gonna. Your body needs food to survive. And if you're not providing your body with that food, you're going to die. So similarly, whatever it is you're getting involved in, whether it's property, whether it's business, being an entrepreneur, whatever it is you're trying to do, you've got to understand the risk and understand how to mitigate that risk to be able to survive in what it is you're trying to do.
Risk management,
so it's all life is about risk management. Get risk management on point and have the mentality of problem solving. This is why I know I'm destined to
because you have an engineering background, and that is a lot of problem solving.
Exactly. So this is why I know I'm destined to be great. I've said it, fuck yeah, I've said it. I'm always, forget talking about problems, let's talk about the solutions, like let's derive what's the root cause of the problem, and let's implement that solution, do you know what I mean? So I'm always in that mindset, whether it's property, whether business, relationship, whatever it is, I'm always thinking in that way, and it just comes from learning or being in engineering background.
And what got you into engineering? Let's even take because I think the recipe you have got engineering mindset, and I think having that kind of problem-solving mindset has helped you progress. 100%. So who would you thank, let's say, looking back on it?
I don't know.
That got you into engineering or aerospace engineering? Because I mean, like, when you were younger, was once again was parents.
Everyone's against me doing engineering. So my dad he was a doctor, he's a gynecologist, so he wanted me to come into the medical field and
Become a doctor.
yeah, and I was like, yeah, he was, yeah, exactly. I'm junior, so he's senior, obviously, and he wanted me to do that, and I remember having this phone call with him, and he's like, oh, why do you want to do engineering? Why do you want to do medical, like biology? Like Dad, I'm rubbish at biology, like I'm far better at physics, maths. That's my strengths. Biology, I can't even say half the words. I'm not the best English person. I don't care about English, like language, all that stuff. Yeah, tricky as well. But physics, I understood it. It made sense. Maths, on job, just putting the work, got it, understood it. No, why, yeah. But I just stuck to it, and I think my parents respected me for that. They know when Alfred says he's put his mind to doing something,
they'll support it as well.
Yeah, they'll support it, and they know there's no changing it. So I'm quite stubborn in that sense, and it's good and bad. But once my mind is set, it's very, very hard to change. And if you want to change your mind, you will come with some engineering.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's got to
you're going to sit and calculate.
It's got to make sense. If what you're saying don't make sense,
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'll just forget it. I can be ruthless sometimes.
That's good. Yeah, you need to cut the shit. Like, look, if this doesn't make
but
sense,
it's not everyone's has the appetite for it, like the belly for it, like. Because I can be very ruthless sometimes when people are talking shit or just not, I don't resonate with what they're saying. I just kind of disregard it. I didn't call it arrogance. I'm not calling it. It's not arrogance. It's just it needs to make sense to me. If you're explaining something to me and I'm struggling to understand it, I'm sorry, but I can't.
Frequency levels.
I can't relate to it. So of course I'm going to disregard what you're saying.
So do you like the friends you have? Do you have a mixture of some friends that do the 9 to 5 and they've got standard lives and they're happy with, or is your circle very? Not like you. No one's gonna be Alfred, but
yeah.
You have
I have different. I think I'm very social. I'm a sociable person. Like, so I've always had different friendship groups. In the sense, so even at uni, like I had my friendship groups of people that I would study with. Like, I know this is my study bunch. Like these people I'm going to if I want to study. I know these people I'm going to kind of chill with my friends. I want to just have fun. I know who the bunch of people. So I've always had a good network in a sense. I always try and have people around me who are doing things that who are in areas that I might need in the future or whatever, or need along the journey.
You're going to separate all. If I want to go party with some people, I've got
because the people that I study with aren't the people I go party with.
Yeah.
They're not the same people. And even as now, like I've got my friends that are still working the 9 to 5. I've got my friends that are in business, entrepreneur type mindset people who want to do more, who are in property, business acquisition, whatever. So it's. For me, you kind of need to have those separate networks, for sure.
Yeah, because it goes along. I've heard the saying before as well. You become the average of the people you spend the most time with. So
yeah,
I mean, some people hear that. Even myself, I then think, oh shit, I'm cutting all my friends out.
No, it's not.
So you think that, have friendship groups.
Of course, you can't. You've got friends that I'm not cutting because you're not doing the same thing as me. No, but I might not spend as much time with you because my day to day is progressing through my journey. And if you're not someone that's going to be able to help me progress through that, of course I want to spend less time with you. It's just nature.
Don't take it personally.
Yeah, don't take it personally, but that's just nature. Like I'm progressing in the same direction, and if I'm spending time with you, and all we're going to talk about is football and I don't know, whatever nonsense that's around. Yeah, it's all good to do that once in a while, but I won't be speaking to you on a daily basis. Of course I want to speak to a person who's doing business, buying property on a daily basis, because that's the knowledge I need. That's the information I need to have to progress. I rarely watch football these days.
Really? You were a United fan, weren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm still I'll stop paying again. Let's not get into that one. But
you still keep in touch with me. You're not sitting there banging out.
Yeah, I'm not. Like players, I don't even know what's happening in the market. Like people are telling me, oh yeah, players are getting transfers. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even know. Like Coutinho, I think we were talking about Coutinho. I was like, when did he go on loan to Bayern?
Bayern.
I was like, what?
You think that's good because that information ain't. Unless you are a football agent or you are like you have your football economy, fair enough. I need to know that stuff, but do I really need to know what fucking Coutinho's doing or what Neymar is or what Sancho's doing? Like, I've become very different. I'd say so I filter a lot of bullshit out of my life. I call it bullshit, and when I say bullshit, I don't mean it's bullshit. I mean as in like, if it's not taking me to the next level, I don't really want to be seeing that stuff. Kind of filter the content that comes on that you see, because again, it's like the stuff you see like. It does create a reality.
It really does.
It does.
I'm telling you,
Instagram's
really
mad as well.
It really does.
You get lost in rabbit holes of just looking at nonsense.
Exactly. So you got to kind of spend less time on these social media apps and actually start focusing on yourself and getting evolving basically. Yeah, they're doing a lot. I always say you lot are watching
These guys might put in their grind. Yeah,
listen, they've put in their work. Like you see them doing all these, making all this, throwing all this money. They've done what they need to get to their money. Like you need to do the same thing.
And they didn't do it by watching other people do it.
Exactly.
So like, stop watching it.
Fine, man, take it.
What's your views on? Because I didn't actually give you a heads up for this question. This is another one I just thought of. Obviously, by the sounds of it, you want to be very wealthy, millionaire, billionaire.
Yeah.
And what are your views on taxing billionaires more and stuff? Like
this one, I might start argument. But listen, a billionaire, millionaire, whatever, multimillionaire, whatever, wherever they are, someone that's created a mass amount of wealth for themselves, they've had to take a risk. Yeah. So a normal person, if you told them, oh, give me 100 grand, let's go buy something and let's see how it turns out, they're gonna take the fuck off. Someone that's got off their own back, whether they borrow the money, again, if you borrow the money, your name's against that, your head is against that, you're putting your life on the line to make this money turn into something. So you've got taken a risk, you provided people with income. Giving someone income is building their wealth. People forget this. So a business owner who's employed thousands of people, he's forget the economy, he's impacted the person's life and their family. So how dare you say, oh yeah, they're making this much money and therefore they should be paying, if anything, they should be paying zero tax. because seriously, because without them, would you have a job? Would you get off your ass and put in the hard work it takes to create a business for yourself and make that money yourself? The answer is no, because for most people. So if you're happy to stay in a job and take a paycheck, stay in your lane. Take that paycheck and keep moving. The business owner is in reinvesting the money each time they make the money and reinvesting it to build more wealth and taking all the risks. Of course, they need to reap the rewards.
Yeah, someone was saying that Jeff Bezos pays like $10 billion a year in salaries. Like he hires 800,000 people. Like there's a lot of lives.
It's a lot of lives. The impact. He's in effect.
I think the people that always say, they probably think billionaires are just so much money and they're just sitting on their money all day.
No,
these guys are working constantly.
Listen, obviously, don't get me wrong. So a billionaire might have a few £1 million in their bank account, yeah, but majority of their wealth is invested. I don't have like my day. I have money around me to kind of live, but I don't keep money around me. I know what money. I know. Again, it comes down to understand how money works, and this is where financial education is very important, because to someone that's like the average person doesn't know anything about financial education, they just assume that these people have billions of money. Nobody has billions of money inside in a bank account. It's just stupid. It's rule number one.
Get that in your head first.
Yeah, exactly. Every money is invested. The money you have around you is just to live your day to day. Nobody wants to sit on money because they know the money is losing value. So if they can find an opportunity, if it's their business, someone else's venture, they can get involved in. They're ready. There's so much money out there, just ready to be put into something. So for me, it's like you can't blame these guys and say, oh, why are they not paying taxes? They're helping boost the economy. They're giving people lives. I don't mean that they're doing a lot for the world. Like and more importantly, they're making your life easier. Because
you're sitting on your ass waiting for your Amazon Prime delivery.
Yeah, like they just make your life easy. You now can get stuff to your house within 24 hours. That's madness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
don't be using Amazon and then cussing and Jeff Bezos for like.
Because again, this whole making money concept is a game. You got to learn to play the game. Like most people are playing chess, and they're playing checkers. Like sorry, hurry around. Most average people are playing what's called checkers, and the rich people are playing chess. Because they understand how money works and they know how to play the system. So yes, of course, nobody wants to give away money to the government for no reason if they don't have to. If they can find a way to benefit their lives, benefit other people's lives, benefit their company. Like, why would you? Right, well, you're going to give the money to the government. The government, you have no say in what the government does with the money.
Yeah.
Absolute zero say. So why the hell are you going to give someone? It's like me saying, "Oh, give me your money, mate. I'm going to do what the fuck I want with it."
Would you give them the money?
Of course not. Yeah. So that's what they're doing. There's like, I want to invest the money back into my business. I want to help my companies flourish, grow, improve.
I think the main point which you made was people's perception of money and their knowledge of the financial system. And even myself, I'm not so clued up on it. I need to learn more. But like, people think that, as you're saying, billionaires, they think that Jeff Bezos has got billions in his bank account.
Nah,
he probably has a few million, and maybe he probably has 1 billion. Who knows? But like, his value of money, it doesn't work like that.
Listen, I'm telling you, rich people always borrow money because they need to be able to scale up. If you're an entrepreneur, you're always looking to grow. So there's no way, if you have an idea in your head, you want to implement that idea, there's no way you have money sat in your bank account doing nothing for you. Because that money is losing value. It's as simple as that. And this is why they reinvest every single penny they can. And even just they'd rather give money to charity for charity causes. Because there's it's a tax write-off. You can give money charity, and yeah, they'll pay the tax on that. Even if you
Definitely
did a YouTube, how does money work? What is money? There's so much content on there. So many people have made topics about that, so you can learn. Again, I always say is, are you someone that wants to acquire information so you can better yourself? If you are, you will pick up your laptop, your phone, and search for stuff. For me, when I'm sitting and I say something, I'm like, oh, or like I'm trying to think of something, I don't know what it is. Mate, Google's your best friend. Just type in Google. I don't know.
You'll find out the answer.
Find out the answer, yeah. And you understand. You learn. So I'm always learning. I always learn. Yeah, I'm always earning. I'm always learning.
Jeez.
Bro, see, learn and keep reading books. Like, there's so much information in books that people don't even appreciate, don't even know, or don't even like.
Were you a massive reader when you were younger?
No, for me, that's why I'm so grateful for the whole property education stuff, because that environment, that's what you get taught. You get taught. You need to keep feeding yourself with information. Obviously, don't get me wrong. A lot of information can be worth nothing if you don't apply it. So the important bit is applying the information you actually read, rather than just. Because I know people that have a lot of knowledge but don't apply any of it. So it's like it's worthless.
That's true.
So as far as I wait for say knowledge is power.
It's only applied knowledge as well.
Like, exactly.
Always learning and earning.
Yeah, always. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I mean, so Leia, we touched on it earlier about you asking for a pay rise, and this is going to go to the ethnic minority question.
Yeah.
So I had to write it down, so I didn't think I remembered it. So it's obviously to do with housing, and obviously as someone that comes from an ethnic minority, such as yourself, and you've been in the property game for a few years now, you therefore learn a few things. Your eyes are definitely opened up to a few things.
100%.
So the stat I found was 68% of white British households own their property. 74% that own their property were Indians. But then the lowest ones were Arabs, which were 17%, and Africans, which were 20%. So why do you think only 20% of African households own their homes? What do you think, looking back on it, being in the property game, do you think it's a lack of education within the kind of culture?
I feel like there's loads of things with regards to that. One factor is definitely education. It's just a culture as well. I think I've always admired like the Chinese people, the Asian people, and when I say admire them in the sense when you meet an Asian, like when I say Asian, like I mean like Indian, like Chinese. I can't really explain.
Obviously, there's a lot. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I'm going to generalize them, but yeah, they're very close knit, and they're all supporting each other to kind of grow their wealth. How much money bounces within a community before you leave that community? So, like in the Asian community, someone provides a service to this person, so like the money bounces around. It stays within. The Jews are the best at doing this. They keep the money. That money never leaves the Jewish community at all. Like literally,
they're very one to look up to as well.
Yeah, and blacks are the worst at doing this. We don't seem to keep the money within our community. We're quick to kind of give it to the white people and just put it out there and just buy these label stuff, buy their products, and just the money to leave the community straight away. We never buy each other's products and keep the wealth within our. We never like come together as a group and say let's do this business and I don't know what it is, the culture. Like I think these other races they've been taught, the education is there. Their families, the upbringing has been in a certain way to kind of, do you know what I mean, be like that. And whereas in the black community, it's not been the same.
I feel like it's a lack of education.
So similar to property. So again, the reason why these people aren't on the ladder. One, there's the education element to it, how to actually go about doing it. Two is actually the opportunity as well. The level playing field isn't the same for each race, that's for sure. It's
and then they were in the UK, it's a white dominated country.
Yeah,
and with them having 74%, a lot of it is lineage as well. Like these guys have been owning houses in the country for years.
So some of it's been passed down through generations. Again, the knowledge along with the assets have been passed down to be able to keep it going. And I feel like the black community, let me generalize, the minority is starting to kind of grasp this stuff and acquiring the right level of information. Like for me now, moving forward, I'm going to pass all the knowledge I have to my family, and the assets I have, pass it down. I don't plan to sell anything that I own. And more importantly, the information, because you can give someone £1 billion asset, and if they don't have the information to be able to,
they can run down to zero.
Zero very, 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 very quickly. All this stuff is business. Yeah, business survives with knowledge and being able to sustain the business. If you have no knowledge about a business, I don't care who, you're going to run down the business, as simple as, because you have to be able to understand the market, know what's happening, and keep up with the market, more importantly. Because business today doesn't mean it's going to be here in 10 years' time. You get that?
Keep the ground, keep learning.
Keep learning. So that's why people say, oh yeah, I want to make money and then just sit on the beach and just
relax the rest of my life.
I'm like, bro, like you're going to come back to nothing. Because you're going to come back to a completely different world. You're going to be like, what the hell's going on? Like everything's different. And that's how you can get wiped out. So you have to keep evolving. That's why it's like comfortable. For me, I say comfortable is a disease, guys. Don't be comfortable. I don't even put my car in comfortable mode. As in my car, like I'm a dynamic. seriously. I've got comfortable, whatever, dynamic, sport mode. My car is even efficiency, dynamic. I can't remember that one, but it's just a few modes.
Never uncomfortable, yeah.
Never uncomfortable, because who grows in being comfortable?
100%, man.
You don't evolve. You're the same person. I don't want to be saying, oh yeah, look, you're the same. Nothing's changed. But back to the point about the whole ethnic minority people not owning houses. I think it comes down to opportunity one. And education. I think those two are the two main. And big one, we have very minimal power of influence. So we're not in influential places in the sense, media. The media that the majority of the world listens to are owned by white corporations. So the information that you absorb, you listen to, all the negativity and stuff. Again, I don't get why people, I guess I'm wiser, so I know these things now, but it's like, I don't listen to the news.
Neither do I. They've all got an agenda. Every outlet, whoever it is, even if it's not Fox News or the CNN or the
whatever it is, I don't like. Throughout Corona, like people are telling me, the news was people telling me stuff through group chats and stuff. I never once went on the news and listened to what the news has to say about anything. I don't care. I just don't care. I just know you've got an agenda. You're not really giving the right information. If I can see the information myself through Twitter, through Instagram. I can see the raw information. I can decipher what I want to make out of it. Because now the news have now kind of they now portray their own message as opposed to being a word.
Rather than being like a platform.
A platform to kind of give information and let someone decide for themselves.
They've got their agenda. The agenda is always negative.
Exactly. So being these corporations are being mostly white owned and they're sending out a message. It's very hard when everything you listen to, you're taking in. I don't care what people say, but the information that goes into your ears is very powerful. Whether you think it's not doing anything to your head or what you're saying or what you're listening to isn't doing anything, trust me, it is. I don't listen to none of that stuff. And back to the point of us not owning any sort of media and having any control, we can't then spread the message to our people and kind of better our people, because all the information is always negative about us committing crime or doing just stupid thing. Like I never hear them talk about people, the minority that are doing great things and bringing.
Oh, there's loads as well. I watched a film. It's called about African American women that helped get NASA into space. They were the one that done the maths calculations behind it all. But you never learned about any about that.
Never.
When you looked at, I looked at SpaceX recently when Tesla was launching his rocket. In the room where there was NASA, there wasn't one black person there. I was like, black people essentially started this. They helped you guys get to the moon first of all. So it's just a portrayal, as you're saying, the education. But like, if you rely on the UK government and the UK educational system to educate us on ethnic minorities,
the world is moving towards like self-education. Uni is becoming less valuable and less relevant because you can go out there and acquire new information by other means.
You just have to choose to go.
Exactly, you just have to make the choice. You can choose to be different and say, you know what, I want to learn about this, so therefore I'm going to go and take this risk, which is doing something different to the norm. And trust me, doing things different to the norm, in my opinion, is always better than.
It's harder to break through the original path.
There's no such thing as like there's no get rich quick or whatever. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. You have to put in hard work. I'm a hard worker. I always advocate for working hard. I just relate it back to football. So when people ask the question, who's a better player?
I'm Ronaldo. Thank God, man. Thank God. No.
Yeah.
Bruv.
You get it. Like, listen, talent.
I tell people, fuck Messi.
Talent. But
you can only get you so far.
Yeah, bro. Listen, talent. Messi's a phenomenal player, but.
And I'm sure he does work hard as well.
I'm sure he does work hard as well, but. Ronaldo's work rate is
beast mode. Man went to Man United, Real Madrid,
Juve,
and he's still working hard.
Yeah, So the work rate.
I've told people when it's all said and done, watch Ronaldo will still be going. It's not done yet. But people go gas. Don't get me wrong, Messi's sick.
Yeah.
Don't get twisted. I've got nothing. We don't even need to compare the two. They're both sick in their own way.
Yeah.
But like, if I had to choose one person, I would rather be. Because Ronaldo's work ethic, everything about him, like
100%.
I just prefer it. It's just down to preference.
Same. And just but the work for me is the work rate. The work rate, because it takes a lot to put in that level of work.
It takes more than talent to get to it.
Exactly. So for me, I feel like Messi's you can call it whatever you want, but it's in my mind, because you've got talent, you've got a slight upper hand in the sense it's already there, it's natural. You haven't got to put that much work to get
He's been in the same environment, he's been in the same club this whole time.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's still good. Ronaldo decided to take a risk of leaving United to go to the biggest club in the world, Real Madrid, kill it at Real Madrid. Yeah, you're going to be like, you know what, I might stay at Madrid, have a bit of a content, just a very comfortable career here. But then he said, let me go to Italy, challenge myself again. Yeah, people might say Italy's a bit of an easy
league. It comes down to that evolving thing.
Exactly, he's choosing himself to evolve it, yeah.
He wants
when it's all said and done,
yeah.
He's a billionaire, isn't he?
He's
the first football billionaire.
Is he not a billionaire?
He's a billionaire now. Obviously, you don't keep in touch with the news.
But
yeah, 2 months ago, he became the first billionaire in football.
Nice. Again, I applaud the guy, man.
Bro, he's a beast, man. Like, when it's
another thing I've always said, all these guys that like literally make like a lot of money, and I kind of get it as well in the sense they don't have the information, so the financial education isn't there. When you're a footballer, you don't learn about financial education. Your day to day is playing football. All you care about is playing football and betting yourself in football. So you're never really there about reading books and how to build a business and how to build wealth.
How your money growing for it.
Yeah, because mate, the amount of money that runs through their fingers during their
career, once they retire, they can lose a lot of it.
It's like if you haven't built something for yourself and haven't got financial education, even during your career, if you haven't got financial education, you're most likely going to be broke by the time you finish, because the lifestyle you've now been accustomed to requires that level of income. If your career is now ended and you haven't built, I don't know, contracts and deals with Nike and all these other sponsorships, whatever,
your running costs are pretty high.
Exactly. You've got £1 million. It probably costs you £1 million a month to live.
Just to stay alive.
Just stay alive. Not to talk about, like, do you know what I mean? Exactly. So if you haven't kind of found a way to kind of have other forms of income outside of your physical, your earned money because you're physically having to be involved to create that money. You then find a way to leverage your brand to create a name. Because bro, I always say, listen, if you're a limelight in terms of like you're out there celebrity, mate, push any products you want. If you've got a loyal following, listen, do the maths. If you put £1,000 product out there and you sold it to, let's say, I don't know, 10,000 people, and that's very little compared to the following some people have. This is 10,000, and you just, I don't know, what's 1,000?
Times 10,000.
Is that 100,000? It's 100. You'd make a 100,000.
Million, isn't it? No, 10,000 times 1,000.
Really?
Yeah, 10,000 times 10 is 100,000. This guy's like Aerospace Engineering as well. You make a million.
You can get it wrong. Yeah, you make a million, and that's just 10,000 people. Some people have $1 million following. Don't get me wrong. Like $1 million following can convert to maybe 10% of that following that actually support your brand or buy your product. But the point is, you could become a force in that space. Do you know what I mean? You've got the following. And this is what most companies want. They want to market themselves. And most people that have been marketed through football, through sport, through music, I don't know why they're not even trying to become a billionaire. Like, you've already got that platform. Your voice, your name, everything's there.
It's probably easier in a sense.
It's easier. You've got the marketing.
You've got to tap into it.
The marketing bit is done. Listen, just put any product. That's why I don't know if you've been watching Kevin Hart of late, but Kevin Hart...
He's got the Netflix thing about,
he had Netflix deal. He's got the health thing going on. He's become a businessman.
Comedian.
Kevin Hart is no longer a comedian. I think he's probably stopped being a comedian a few years ago. He's got himself around a group of people that are building wealth, and he's learning from.
He said he wants to be a billionaire.
Yeah, he said, listen, and that's only because you've been around people that are inspiring you and saying, you know what, I'm learning this information. I'm learning new things, how to make money. Because before he made a thing, a joke about with Grant Cardone when he got interviewed by Grant Cardone, saying that when he first started making money, he would blow it all, and obviously the tax will come, and it's a hefty bill because he's made millions, and he's like, wait, nobody told me we got to pay tax. I don't have this money around me, and now he's got to do some shows to make the money and go pay the tax. Do you know what I mean? And now he's learned to live off 20% of his earnings, and that's a good discipline to have.
It does.
20% of what you earn, just all you earn, yeah. Do you know
money management, man.
But money management is very important because.
And we're not taught this stuff at school unless you go decide to study finance. But I get why they don't want to teach us. They don't want everyone to be thinking like this. You're not meant to like. It doesn't help the world. They want people to be as dumb as possible, work in the rat race, have a 9-to-5 job. But you got, as you said, if you want to live that life, there are resources. Just tap into it and read some books about finance and money and
100%.
understand how
and that's like it comes down to the individual. Because nobody told me to get out of my bed but I wake up early sometimes. I generally wake up early, but I wake up early. I'm always learning. Nobody told us to go and read a book about this and that. No, I pick myself up and look and search for information. I'm eager to learn. I want to spend a day with a billionaire. I want to be able to be around billionaires. Like, why would you not?
Yeah.
Why would you not?
I mean, yeah, you're gonna learn some valuable stuff from them.
Mate, life changing. Not even forget valuable. Life changing. But I always say you're always one contact away from like your life completely changing. Because I know like a lot. I want to meet people. I've met people that are around me that told me they want to become billionaires, and it wasn't too recent even, I'd say, that I've met someone that openly said I want to become a billionaire.
So
everyone around me is like, oh, you want to be a billionaire and stuff. So I hear it all the time. But no one around me has ever said the words I want to become a billionaire. And for me that was powerful. I was like, mate, what circle of friendship?
But yeah, you need that kind of energy around you, man.
100%. Because it just opens your eyes and broadens your eyes, and you start to think big. And this is that's why I love Grant Cardone, because Grant Cardone pushes me to think outside the box and want more for myself.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong as well with just wanting to have
content life, yeah.
But for me, content is not in my dictionary. I don't know what content means. I don't want to know what it means.
No content, no comfortability. What other C's are there?
yeah. No C's,
yeah. It's all like C's, man. Cruise control.
You don't want none of that, nah.
To kind of wrap things up in the sense that you're 27 now, you said, yeah?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
And your company, which you work on, Real Property Ventures.
Real Property Ventures,
so that's all you have at the moment?
Yeah,
you don't have a 9-to-5, you don't work?
No, not anymore. It's just, this is recent due to COVID. For me, any setback is an opportunity to grow. So for me,
if you choose to let that setback, some people use setbacks to just feel sorry for themselves.
Nah,
and be like, oh, life's against me.
I was smiling.
Yeah.
I was smiling. Yeah,
Happy,
I'd have to come back here. I can do what I want now. I'm free.
It's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. So it's just now turning that feel into energy and let it make you evolve and grow into a better person. Because it's pushed me, like that alone pushed me to create a mastermind group. So now I've got a property mastermind group. It's quite a diverse group in terms of the strategies that everyone's implementing, trying to get involved in. And that probably would have come about. It probably would have come about in the future, but this accelerate that. And now I'm looking to grow that. So for me, it's just growing. That's an income stream for me, which I'm now grateful for. I'm trying to increase my personal brand as well.
Some people would have lost their job and just started looking for another job.
I even to this day I still haven't looked. I don't know what job market is saying. I have no idea. I don't care.
You're just trying to figure out yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I'd rather struggle. Where I am in my life, obviously it all comes to where you are in your life and But in my life, I'm at a point where I can make this an opportunity to do something for myself, to build something for myself, build income for myself, and therefore live my own life and do what it is I please to do. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm fortunate in that sense to be able to take that risk, because it is a risk I'm taking. Because like I said, I could go and apply for another job again, another job, but I don't want that. I want more. I want something different. So I'd rather have a less income
for a while.
Yeah, for a while. And early next year, I'm going to be earning double what I was earning at work. Fact. Absolute fact. I just can't wait. So for me, because things are moving forward and things are going in the right direction. So I just know. Now that I'm at work, I've met so many people. I've met bigger people, better people. People are pushing me on even further than where I was. So I just know, like, the income I was earning at work, that was chicken change, and I'm going to be earning at least double.
And you're not even working for someone else by earning double that.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the space of a year.
Listen, so for me, it's like, I'm not...
But everything's happened, like, your whole journey has...
It's all been a gradual. Like, people have seen my journey, so it's not, this is not overnight success or whatever. I wouldn't call it success. I mean, I'm still growing, I'm still doing things. But it's been a journey. It's not been easy. I have my shit days. I have days like I feel like, oh, fucking nothing's going my way. I still do, like, you just gotta have the mindset stuff and keep reading and learning to be able to overcome this thing. So mindset is a massive thing. Even in property, like, people say it's buying property, not buying the property. It's actually more mindset than it is actual physical buying the property, because there's so many hurdles in property that you have to overcome. And if you haven't got a strong mindset, you just won't get there. So mindset, reading books, very important. Very, very important in the journey.
So where do you see yourself as a young, ambitious man now at 27? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Bro, I hope I'm billionaire by then.
Yeah, like in 10 years' time.
Bro, before
so by the age of 37?
Before 40. Yeah, before 40. I think so. I think so.
Heard it here first, guys.
Probably put it out there, yeah.
So by 37, and by the end of this year, what's your kind of like little short-term target in the next 5 to 6 months?
So I'm looking to have three now at the moment. So 2 going through legals, 1 completing. I'm looking another 2 more for the end of the year. So I'm looking to have 5 properties by the end of this year. I wouldn't say, not necessarily the number 5. It's less about, it's more the value of those properties. So my initial target is getting to about £4 to £5 million worth of property. Obviously, the income bit is important for me as well because it needs to be generating income. So the initial target's £5 million worth of property. By the end of this year, I think realistically, I'll probably be on 1.5. I would say close to 2, if not at 2. And I'll just keep working. But you never know. I'm looking at 1.5 million deal now. So for all I know, that could maybe 3. Yeah, that could be on 3 mil.
Has it been easier to buy properties with COVID right now? Because I know house prices have kind of dropped.
No,
so for someone that's maybe if someone's like looking to buy property, would you recommend this is a good time to?
I've said this before. I feel like around the moment it's like a seller's market because the market's become flooded with a lot of investors due to the government obviously relief and stamp duty stuff. So everyone feels like they can come in and buy a property at the moment. So now the sellers are like, well, I've got options. I don't need to sell. I can see who's willing to pay, who wants to pay to get a property. So I wouldn't say the buyer's market. I think give it a few more months when the redundancy stuff start happening a bit more. Because we are in a recession, whether depression will happen, nobody knows, but I don't care. I'm focused on my economy. I'm focused on my economy. Listen, there's no right or wrong time. Whatever decision you make today, just get on with it. Like, there's no right or wrong, better time to buy a property. Just go with it. Because for me, I'm thinking long term. I'm not looking to sell anything. So I don't care if the market drops by 20%. I'm not selling anything. As long as it's producing me income, like I hold on to properties, I'm going to still have those properties. Do you know what I mean? So I don't care what happens to the market. Also, I care in the sense of, is it going to affect my income? That's what I need to care because that's when I'm at risk of losing my properties. Because if I can't pay the mortgages that are coming each month, then I am going to lose my properties. They're going to be repossessed. So for me, I'm always in the business mindset. How can I mitigate my risk? How can I be sustainable to be able to keep up with the payments and make money from these properties? But yeah, it's not really a buyer's market, I would say. It's the moment seller's market. When jobs start going and stuff, then potentially it could turn around, it could flip around, and it could become a buyer's market because people will be under pressure, people will be losing their mortgages and stuff, which is unfortunate, but this is where the rich will come in and capitalise, and they are buying at discount. Listen, they're just waiting. So you know some of these shopping centres that are going bust? A shopping centre technically is valued based on the income it generates. So the building, the physical building, could be worth, in actual fact, worth 0 right now in business terms.
But then the money brought in from those shops inside that.
Yeah, because the value of the property is based on this commercial value, like in terms of what's the rental income. So now these people are stepping in and saying, "Yep, what do you want for it?" Obviously, they're gonna try and say, "Well, listen." So at the moment, nobody wants to sell a business. Nobody wants to sell a business right now. It's like the worst time to sell a business, unless your business is booming.
Yeah.
Of course.
But even then, why would you sell it if it's because
exactly. So if you're someone that's looking to sell, probably you're in danger, you've got issues going on. But at the moment, if someone that's buying a business off you is business savvy, they're looking at a discounted price. So this is why the rich are going to get stupidly rich. I think someone made a comment, there's a wealth switch happening at the moment, people aren't even talking about it. So some of the big companies are even getting more wealth, like Amazon is one of them, because of what's happened. And literally wealth is just transferring from one person to another. Massively, and huge streams as well, not even like little trickles. Huge. Some people are just making billions overnight, and which is true because if you don't have knowledge, you won't know how to make money flow to you. When you do,
it's
endless. There's loads of opportunities out there right now, but more in the business space in terms of buying businesses than I'll take property, which obviously still can happen in property because there are businesses in properties, i.e. the commercial real estate stuff, which might be going dead, offices going dead, which could then be potential to buy it for cheap and then convert them into residential properties, which people need homes. So easy money to make. And if you've got the money, cash in the bank, cash deals. You don't need this is why this is so annoying, but this is why I say when I say people are storing money, this is storing money for these kind of events. Because right now, yes, there's opportunity to go and buy a property, but guess what? If the lender isn't willing to lend you money, you can't do the deal. However good the deal's like, do you know what I mean? So you got to creatively finance the deal. Whether it's you finding investors who got cash sitting there, readily available. You being an investor yourself who's controlling your own wealth and say, I've got £10 million sitting there. I can go buy the asset for which was worth 10 million, for example, and it's now maybe worth 5 because it's basically worth nothing, basically. So you can give them 5, repurpose it to residential, and flip that to 10, 20, whatever, I don't know what the opportunity is. Repurpose that and make your money, and you just invested 5 to make 20. I'm waiting for it, and there's going to be more of it because you've got to wait for for example, the furlough scheme stuff. Come to an end, see what business they still sustain themselves.
Yeah, because we're still people think COVID's got like, well, there's a lot more to pan out.
Mate, listen,
there's a lot more to pan
the
out.
country printed trillions of money.
Yes.
That is a if you don't understand how money works, that's a worrying thing. The more money, so quantitative easing, QE, I just call it QE, easy to say, devalues the pound. So the pound is worth less. So again, another reason why you need to increase your income because everything's getting more expensive. I don't know if you've noticed, but things are getting more expensive. Like pre-COVID, I think it was about £10. Got to the barber shop. There's a new sign, £15, please. Obviously,
that's a 50% increase.
This is me in Midlands. I think London is like normally £20. I don't know what the prices are now, but things are going up in prices. Food has gone up in price. Just everything's going up in price.
In general, man.
Yeah, 100%. So
it's
guys,
tough times, man.
Increase that income. Always look to increase it. Nothing gets cheaper over life. It's only getting more and more and more expensive. So the more wealth you have, the more comfortable you be, the more you can do, the more you can support people around you. And why wouldn't you? For me, that's what I would say.
Very good way to end it there. So I think to summarise a few things you said today, you're always earning and learning.
Yeah, that's what.
I like that one. That's good. It's a good one.
Yeah.
And another one I think I'll take from you today.